So as I browsed YouTube in search of those things that you want to hear others talk about, I come across these twin flame stages or twin flame relationship stages thing. And I go like, oh no, because this is one of the things I actually hate so much, for lack of a better word. Because why do we always need to label things and just spoil everything, really? Like, you are a twin flame, that's a label. And then you are on a twin flame journey, that's another label. And then in this case, you're going through stage 1, label. You're going through stage 2, label. And so on and so on. And really, this is so damaging to everything, because in reality, everything is so much more flowing and natural. So in short, labeling and classifying, it's so limiting and damaging and such an ego thing, really. But still, or perhaps precisely because of it, I want to offer you my take on this. I want to tackle these twin flame stages thing. And in this context, I think I can get away with tackling these stages thing without falling into the trap of using labels. It is so much simpler than this. Stages, well, you might call them stages. Union and separation. That's all there is. And union and separation, they don't need to, of course, happen in a linear fashion. Although I would be inclined to think that most people would imagine that when you meet this person and everything is beautiful and you love each other and you can't believe your lack, that's called union. And then something happens and everything falls apart, and that would be separation. And then there is ultimate union, which is the thing that everybody seems to aspire to. But really, it doesn't happen quite in this way. Union, on the other hand, is really not a thing of two people coming together. We're talking about your own inner union. And whatever happens with you and this person, in terms of being united in the physical or not, well, that's something entirely different. But you can be in union with yourself, and you can be in separation with yourself, which means experiencing your life and your relationship with this person through your ego or through your soul, and that's all there is. So, when you meet this person and you begin to have these close, intimate moments where everything seems perfect and wonderful, that's so because you're both feeling and acting from your soul. This is not to say that you are 100% in your soul. Of course, there are levels. You can be in your soul 100%, or you can be in your soul 80%, so to speak, meaning that you're a little bit in your ego, or you are quite a lot in your soul. But, ego minds are designed and implanted in us. And I say this quite intentionally, because that's how I believe it works. Anyway, I believe the ego is some kind of an implant. And so because of the ego's design, then the ego begins to destroy what began as a promising union of souls and begins to distort it. So when you are in your ego, they, your counterpart, will be in their ego too, vice versa. And when you're in your soul, their soul will get activated, and vice versa. And that's how it goes. Little by little, you begin to embody more of your soul and less of your ego. But as I said earlier, it is not a linear process, because the ego is going to fight the soul. It doesn't want union, the ego, it doesn't. So when your soul begins to take center stage, the ego suddenly will gather strength from where it didn't have it anymore, and it will come back, and that's when you get triggered and you feel like you're back in square one. So union, separation, in more in union, more in separation. But everything else that happens is just a reflection of you being more in your soul or more in your ego. And really, I think we have to forget all about these stages, ideas. And so people, perhaps yourself, want to know these stages because they want to know, oh God, where am I? What stage am I in? Am I there yet? Am I close to the end now? Or am I even a twin flame? I need to know. So, yeah, that is the ego itself. So you couldn't be getting any further from union. But yes, some people are wondering whether they are a twin flame or not. And you know what? It doesn't really matter. Because for starters, although I tend to believe that a twin flame is a thing, and I say this from personal experience because what I have gone through, it's certainly unlike anything else I have gone through. But really, it doesn't matter. If you're in a relationship with somebody who loves you today and ghosts you tomorrow, it doesn't matter if you identify as a twin flame or if you really are or aren't. It doesn't. So that's to begin with. So if you're fretting, if you're worried, am I a twin flame or not? Drop it, because really it doesn't matter. Because ultimately, if you manage to go inside, to look inside, and let your soul grow, really, that's all you want and that's all you need. And if you're wondering, what stage am I in? I need to know, because I need to know if I'm getting closer to the end. You also need to drop it, because you only do this so you can continue to obsess and ruminate about the whole thing, which is the opposite of what it is that you need to do if you want to recover your peace and if you want to grow into your powerful, magical self. So remember, this is nothing to do with another person. This thing, this twin flame thing, is so full of paradoxes. You think one thing, it turns out it's the opposite. You think you want one thing, it turns out you want it the opposite. You think this is about somebody else, it's about another person. But it is not. As you progress in your path, in your understanding, in your integration, you'll realize it was all about yourself in the first place. So, to sum it up, yes, there will be, inverted commas, stages, in the sense that you will be conquering some milestones, you will be living more through your soul a little bit more every day. And then, little by little, things begin to change. But really, drop the stages thing. It's like a fairy tale, and this is not a fairy tale. Every relationship is, of course, different. Every twin flame relationship is different. Every personal path and development is different. And so, once again, to sum it up, you will meet this person and your souls get activated. And you begin to experience and to embody some kind of pure, soul-aligned love to which the ego responds, because the ego can't have that happening. And then you don't realize it's happening. They don't realize it's happening. Next minute, you are living your relationship through your egos, and everything becomes a misunderstanding, and everything goes wrong. And because the pain is so intense, if you identify as a divine feminine, it is usually you who, not being able to withstand the pain, will look inside, and then you will find an idea, you will find a light at the end of the tunnel guiding you, and you will lose the light again, and you will go back into your ego and more suffering and so and so and so. But really, that's it. That's all there is to it. It's your search for your soul. And stages, they only talk about fairy tales, all these, videos and whatever about stages. They are fairy tales representation of Hollywood inspired stories which have nothing to do with what a twin flame experience is. So if you're really in this for the long run, drop it. You don't really need to know anything about stages. It's fake and it doesn't help you.